Guys, Uncle Ray, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. On this channel, we cut through the hype, the noise, the BS, and the misinformation, and we give you the real non-biased news and information you can use to make informed decisions. And guys, this video, we're going to dive into the so-called banking tokens, the ISO tokens, cross-border payment tokens, whatever you want to call them tokens. A lot of people call them the flip the switch, change your life tokens. But guys, I'm here to tell you, there's two sides to this story, and you will not hear this side of the story. And I want you to follow along with this. Just hear me out. It's going to give you another perspective. It might trigger a lot of you guys, and you're the ones that need to listen to this video the most. And if you don't believe what I say, guys, do your own research. And research is not going to the fake influencers that tell you what you want to hear. Go down the rabbit hole and prove me wrong or prove me right. Because the only person or the only people that disagree with the majority of what I'm about to say are the people that haven't done any homework. And I'm here to tell you guys, there's two sides of the future of payments, banking, and everything. So, guys, you can't listen to one side of the story. Because look, just like I have on the screen, I have Ripple, right? Everyone knows the history of Ripple and XRP, and we all know, we've heard all the crazy things. Buy, $100 worth of XRP and you're going to hit retirement. They're going to flip the switch and your life's going to change. Banking's going to change forever. Well, guys, did you ever wonder, let's see, the legacy banks, the big players like JP Morgan and the Swifts of the world, what's their game plan? What do they have to say about it? Because they have all the money, all the power. They are currently dominating it 100%, the flow of money. What's their game plan with all this new disruptive technology? Well, that's what we're going to dive into, and I've been diving into it for about 1.5 years, and it changes every day. And now, guys, we're getting way down the road, so the legacy banks have showed their hands, right? We can see their roadmap. We can see what they have in place. How are they going to stop what's coming as far as the future of banking and payments and everything else? Well, guys, I'm here to tell you, they got a game plan, and not only are they not going to lose their grip on the flow of money, it's going to increase. If you don't believe me, just watch this video, and please, guys, take your investments more serious. Look, I own all of the banking tokens. If I had it do over again, I'd cut that in half. But I own XRP, XLM. One of the best trades I ever made was XRP. I only own a little bit. I've dollar cost averaged out since the announcement. I'm good. It was never a long-term hold for me. I still hold a little bit because I want to see what happens here shortly. But the point being, guys, I own all these projects. I like all these projects. And I think all these projects are going to do well. All the tokens you're thinking about, Link, Quant, XLM, XRP, they're all going to do well. However, I want more than well if I can find it. I want that 25x, 50x, 100x. And I tell you one thing, guys, once you get on up the ladder to the top 10 tokens, those tokens are not your 25, 50x tokens, guys. They've already made people rich. Hopefully you caught it. I didn't. So I want to go on down the ladder, and I want to find what the big money's doing. Because, guys, here's my theory, and here's my strategy. Knowledge is the person with the most knowledge is going to make the most money, right? And so here's my thought process. I follow the money. And I used to work on Wall Street with Bear Stearns. I used to trade foreign currencies. I've been an investor for over 30 years in pretty much everything you can think of. And I'm here to tell you, the governments, primarily the U.S. government, the central banks and Wall Street pick winners and losers, whether we like it or not. And so I follow what they are up to and then I try to front run whatever it is I think they're going to put their money into. And that's somewhat what this video is all about. But anyway, guys, I don't mean to ramble. Stay with me till the end. I'm going to give you 2 projects that might give us that 25, 50, even 100x. Not saying they will. This is not financial advice. But just hear me out, guys. Get the other side of the equation. Because I'm here to tell you, the disruptors are getting disrupted by the legacy banks. Because they got a game plan. If you don't believe me, watch this, and then we'll take it from there. Let's get into it. Now, this guy on the screen with the crazy hair, he is a ex-CIA spy. He's extremely intelligent. His IQ has to be about 180. He talks about a lot of different things. In this particular video, they're talking about banking. They brought up Ripple. They talk about Bitcoin and just crypto and bricks and all that. But I want you to listen to what he has to say right here, and that's going to kick off everything about this video. Listen up.
Where I spend my time looking at cryptocurrency is very much in the types of currencies, the type of crypto innovation that's going to facilitate and evolve our current financial system. Not the kind of cryptocurrency that's challenging or positioning itself as a replacement to our financial services system.
Yeah, I do as well. That's something.
See, they both do that, and I do that also. And guys, I'm here to tell you, you got to think about something. The legacy banks, like JP Morgan, guys, I'm not a fan of Jamie Dimon or JP Morgan's, but I am a fan of making money. And you got to look at what they do. JP Morgan has like $39 trillion sitting on Wall Street that they can control. I truly believe they are the one that sent the SEC to Ripple. They have that kind of power. Jamie Dimon called the White House, and the White House will pick up. That's a fact. Larry Fink with BlackRock, all those boys work together, and they're going to pick winners and losers. And guys, here's what's going on in crypto right now, and I see it every day in my research, and that's what I'm doing, is sharing it with you. I do the research for my portfolio. But here's what I'm seeing. Just like when Uber rolled in and took out the cab companies weren't connected. They didn't have any money. They weren't united. And the difference of, say, Uber taking over the cabs, and just like when, hold on, bear with it, just like with Blockbusters, when Hulu and Netflix and cable came, they got disrupted. Well, when the disruptive technology rolled into the legacy banks, well, they took heed, and they have the money and the power and everything else to stop it. So they instantly got a game plan. And part of that game plan was to use their power with the U.S. government and weaponize the SEC. That was just one of their many steps. But now, guys, you got to think crypto and Web3 and all this blockchain technology, it's open source. It's just code. It's just software, and there's very few patents in the entire process. So you got to think, if someone has unlimited money and unlimited power and unlimited resources, they're going to copy this technology. So what I'm seeing right now is the banks implementing this technology. It could have disrupted them, but now they have the exact same technology. So how are we going to catch them? They already have millions and millions, billions of customers that are looking to use this technology. And whatever they present to them, those customers are going to use. So the disruptive technology isn't there, in my opinion. Now, I want to tell you a story, and bear with me, guys, because this is really important. It backs up what I'm seeing. Now, I'm seeing the legacy banking system 10x what I see in the crypto world with these foundations. That's a fact, and I've made many videos about what JP Morgan and all those guys are doing. But currently, I have a customer that I work with, and she has a friend that is a global banker. She sells and she networks and her product all over the world. Well, they started talking about blockchain and crypto, and she started asking her, what blockchain are y'all using? You know, what about Ripple XRP? What about XLM? You know, what's it look like in the network of the global banks? Because she flies all over the world. The woman just in the last 2 weeks been in like 2 different countries while my customer's been talking back and forth to her. And she, right out of the gate, said, look, we're not interested in blockchain. We don't use blockchain. The banks are not trying to use blockchain technology. FEDnow is not going to use blockchain. And I'm like, she's out of her mind, right? So anyway, she started sending me some information. And then my customer just sent me a new article from an executive from this corporation. It's called FEDC AI, I guess. But what it is, it's a fraud and financial crime solution. So no matter what the banks set up, they can work with this corporation right here to just verify all the transactions and keep everything safe. So that's what they do, but they work with banks all over the world. And so she sent her an article and said, you should read this, and this will prove to you what I've said to you and make you understand that the banks are not using blockchain technology and they have no interest in the interbanking part of it. So here's what it says. It says state of the nation. Now remember, guys, this is a very big executive among global bankers that she works with them every day. It says state of the nation of real-time payments. The clearinghouse, TCH, real-time payment network, recently surpassed 500 million payment transactions, highlighting a significant acceleration in adoption. Instant payments in the US. And then it says, just last year, TCH celebrated processing 45 million transactions in third quarter 2022, valued at 19.7 billion in one quarter. Fast forward till today, they've dramatically, hold on, I lost my place. They've dramatically increased the transaction volume, boosted the number of business users by 50% to 150,000, and roped in over 3 million consumers using real-time payments for account-to-account processing, or RTP for for Zelle payments. Interestingly, this announcement came shortly after the Federal Reserve launched its instant payment system, FEDnow. The inception of FEDnow will likely foster even more growth and demand for real-time payments. Anyway, guys, she goes on, and basically what she is saying is we already have the centerpiece and we're doing real-time payments right now. Now, that doesn't mean that blockchain is not going to be used, but I want to tell you one other thing. There was an article I read and it talked about Swift and Chainlink. Well, see, just like I said, they don't want to use this so-called disruptive technology. They want to use their own stuff. Swift right now is working directly with Chainlink and multiple banks, the biggest banks in the world, to figure out how to send and receive and transact with tokenized assets, which that is going to make cross-border payments look like nothing, guys. That is where the big demand is going to be. Everything on the planet is going to be tokenized. Stocks, bonds, your dog, your house, your car, your health records, everything's going to be tokenized. And Swift, Chainlink, the central banks, and the governments, they have a plan, and it's not to use the so-called disruptive technology unless they have to. Now, all of it's going to be tied in together a little bit, but I'm here to tell you, according to Link, and the lady that sent me that email, Link just said in another article that they believe that all banks are going to have their own their inside blockchain or their own payment rails and their own stable coins. May not be called a stable coin, but they're going to have their own products. And then that's going to tie in outside of the bank. Now that's where some of the blockchain rails can come into play. But there is not going to be any domination. I'm here to tell you, the legacy banks and Swift and MoneyGram and all the major entities right now, guys, they're just going to get stronger and stronger, and they're trying to take everything that we like and know and love about blockchain. They're trying to take it away and capitalize on it. Right now, we are at war among, when I first got into crypto, I thought there was this decentralized utopia, and I was like, oh my God, it's going to change everything, and corporations are going to fall down, and all these, foundations and everything is going to take over everything, and everything's going to be decentralized. Well, unfortunately, guys, we're going to have a decentralized arena to a certain extent. I don't even know what that's going to look like, and that will definitely be through like the Bitcoin ecosystem and maybe some of the DeFi platforms. But I'm here to tell you, yes, I may be able to send $10,000 to someone in Italy just in an app, and it costs me 3 cents in the future. Well, we can do it already. But when it comes to the big money, guys, like when Coca-Cola wants to send $1 billion over to a different country, and they go into their bank, which is a bank like JP Morgan, they're not going to do that transaction by themselves. They do not want decentralized technology that they have to control and be responsible for. They want a centralized entity in the middle. So here's what it's going to look like, and they're already doing it. I'll give you an example. Now you got to think, $1 billion, guys. Imagine you having to set up a wallet and transfer $1 billion and it disappears. Imagine in the future when we have tokenized assets, I'm going to trade my house for your house. And we can do it over an app, and we don't need anything. I send mine to yours, and you send yours to mine, and it disappeared. What happens then? Who are you going to call? No one. The world is not ready for that, and the majority of people don't want it. So in the future, if you want to send real money through like cross-border payments, you want to walk into a bank or into a fintech company or whoever, and you say, hey, I want to send $1 billion. Yes, you want it to be sent instantly and cheaply, but hey, you don't want to have to set it up. You don't want to have to own, for example, XRP or any of those tokens. You don't want to deal with that stuff. You just want to make the transaction. So, for instance, JP Morgan, Ripple will make that transaction for you. And they will charge you a fee, and they will insure it. That's what ODL is. That's what JP Morgan does right now with its private blockchain and its JPM coin. JPM just doesn't charge to use, they charge to use the token, but you don't have to own it or anything else. That's exactly what ODL is with Ripple. And guys, while I'm on the subject, that's where a lot of misinformation goes. Ripple's ODL, when you hear the banks are using XRP, yes, they are using XRP, but they don't own or buy XRP, and they never will. They just pay the service through Ripple. But here's the problem and why it is not bullish whatsoever for the retail XRP. No matter how many transactions Bank of America or any bank does with Ripple, Ripple uses its supply, and it funds its supply from its escrow, and it keeps all the profits. So no bank is going out and buying retail XRP, and Ripple has a supply to last for 25 to 100 years and never need mine in your retail XRP. So it's just misinformation, and if you understand it, guys, you'll be able to capitalize on it, and you won't be thinking you can put $100 into XRP and retire once they so-called flip the switch. And I don't mean to be negative, but guys, you got to take heed of this information. Now, let's get into the really good part of this video. I'm going to show you two different tokens that I think could be way better than, say, XRP. XRP is great. Ripple's phenomenal. Buy Ripple when it goes and does its IPO. It's going to be a phenomenal company, and it is a phenomenal company. But these two projects right here may be a lot better and give you that 100x, 1000x that you want. Not saying they will, but hear me out. Now, like I said, my philosophy is follow the money. And the big boys is Fiserv and FIS Global. I didn't know this until I dug into FEDnow. Guys, the biggest American bank, and I believe the most powerful entity in the world, is JP Morgan. Again, I don't like that, but they move more money than any different entity in the world. And technically, even though they're America's biggest bank, you could argue that they're the biggest bank in the world. The only thing is the banks in China, they are partly banks affiliated with the government. It'd be like adding the Fed into JP Morgan. So you really can't even include those as a comparison to the biggest banks in the world, because they're half government, half, individual. But now, the top three movers of money in America, and I don't know exactly in the world, but they're all in the top 10 of moving money around the world, is Fiserv and FIS Global, and JP Morgan's number one. These two on the screen go back and forth. They send trillions of dollars around the world. Now, I highly recommend go to FISERV.com. Check them out, guys. Look at that. Powering financial services in innovation. They're one of the biggest companies in the world, the biggest fintech company in the world. Now, I've done a video talking about FIS Global because they have a partnership with Hedera, and they're on Hedera's board. Look at that, guys. They processed $40 trillion of assets in 2025. They have a relationship with 95% of the banks around the world. Look at that. Trusted to move the world's money, literally. Now, that leads us to these projects. Well, Fiserv just did a partnership with Metal Blockchain, which is created by Metallus, or ever how you say that. Now, they have a partnership with Metal Blockchain, guys, and Metal Blockchain, no one's talking about. It's a great, great project, and it's cheap. But look at this. Metal Blockchain, hold on a second. It says Metal Blockchain integrates credit card and ACH processing capabilities with payment technologies from global leader Fiserv. Guys, this is a blockchain that we want to take a look at. And in a second, we're going to look at the Metal Blockchain chart and see if it's time to get the stacking and see what the upside is. Now, one other thing, and I know you guys hate to hear the truth, a lot of you, but if you take your money seriously like me, you'll want to hear the truth. But look at this article, guys. Only 2 blockchain firms in Federal Reserve's instant payment app early adopters list. Think about it. There's only 2 blockchain firms. Now, we hear every day Ripple, XLM, all those. Guys, the 2 indirect blockchains that use XRP, they use Ripple's ODL. Again, nothing to do with retail. If they need more money, or if they need more XRP, they don't go into the open market. They just call up Ripple. Ripple sends it through their escrow account. It's not bullish, and directly has nothing to do with FEDnow. And when you dive into FEDnow, guys, no matter what, if you just look at it non-biased, because I don't care what the answer is, guys, I will dump my whole bag and start over in the morning if I thought I'd make more money. But when you dive into FEDnow, you're going to see the legacy banks are the dominant players, and these top fintech companies, they are going to onboard the most people around the world. They already have the customers and the technology set up. Now, what are the two blockchains? Metal blockchain and Tacit Group. I've done multiple videos on Tacit. Tacit is a powerhouse in banking, and they went to the banks a couple of years ago and they said, here's the deal. We understand that you are under fire. And they coined the term, we have disrupted, we allowed the legacy banks to disrupt the disruptors. That came from Tacit Group. And I'll leave a video at the end if you want to take a look at what Tacit is up to. But guys, the legacy banks are building their own ecosystem to defend all of the wannabes that are trying to take their market share from them, and they're not going to be successful. I'm here to tell you, but it's your money. Now, so Metal blockchain and Tacit. Now, let's look at Metal blockchain. It is at 0.05. So what is that? 5 cents, guys. And it has been as high as $1.45. That is a huge upside. Guys, that's just like HBAR. And I don't mean to shield HBAR again, but you know, this is probably higher risk for sure than HBAR, and it's probably looking at the same return. But guys, this thing has low market cap. I mean, it's 13,400 of how big it is. So guys, it could explode. It wouldn't take anything to get this thing really pumping. So I'm not going to load the boat, but I'm probably going to throw a little bit of pocket change, get me a little small bag of metal, and keep an eye on it. That's just my thoughts. Now, here's another one. Now, this is part of the Metal blockchain ecosystem, Proton. Now, it has a little bit more of a reputation. You may have heard of it, but they call it the payment blockchain, programmable money that works. It's gasless. It has a great ecosystem. It has a lot of different things going for it. But guys, that's going to be part of one of the biggest, arguably the biggest fintech company in the world's ecosystem now. They're doing a partnership. So guys, you got to take a look at it. Now, here's another thing that really has impressed me. Because no matter what, guys, you want to see adoption during the bear market. Because anytime you see adoption during the bear market and you see growth of an ecosystem, in the bull run, that growth and that hard work is going to catch up with the price. So I personally feel that Proton, no matter what, is going to really have a huge upside and definitely probably get into the top 100. Now, why do I say that? Why do I say that with so much confidence? And we'll go back up and look at the chart. Look at this, guys. Here's what you want to see. First of all, we could go on and on and on about all the bullet points of all the positive news they have, but look at this, guys. This is what you want to see. Look at the commits for the less than a year. 19,527 commits. Guys, 800 contributors. That's basically all the things that the developers are committed to build. Look at that, guys. It's constant. It is exploding. When you look at a lot of different projects, they're just kind of working. A few developers. This blockchain and this ecosystem is absolutely on fire. Now, let's look at what it's trading at. I mean, the all-time high is, what is that, 10 cents? And right now, it is at, oh man, guys, I'm getting some of this one, 0.0008. That might be the best risk reward I've seen. Now, I haven't dug into the tokenomics and all that, but guys, Proton has got my attention even more so than Metal. So I'll be doing some updates and deep dive on Proton. But guys, I just want to give you a heads up. I know this is getting a little long in the tooth, but guys, you got to hear both sides of the story. because all I see every day is misinformation. They keep telling you that, you know, some crazy numbers, some crazy things are going to flip the switch. Guys, the switch has already been flipped. Just like in that email, they already are doing real-time payments, and they're doing it without blockchain, without tokens. And that's another thing, and I don't mean to harp on it, but guys, it is what it is. We can either acknowledge it now and get ahead of it and make good decisions, or deny it, and then 3 years later, 5 years later, you realize, damn, I picked the wrong tokens and I missed the biggest opportunity in history of man. Because guys, I can't be more bullish, but this changes every single day and you got to stay on top of it. So real quick, let's talk about tokens. Just like Chainlink said, every bank will have its own rails, whether that's blockchain or like HBAR, which is not a blockchain. But guys, you don't need a token. The token is only there to give you access. So if there is a gatekeeper to give you access, which the banks want, and most of the people on the planet, not me and you, they want a gatekeeper. They want to process that transaction, and if something happens to it, they want someone to pay up, and they want someone to chase that money and be liable for our money. So the future, no matter what, guys, is going to be immensely centralized, at least for the bulk of things. A lot of things, like we'll be able to do things as decentralized as you want, probably. Hopefully, they won't take that from us. But the majority of the world, guys, they do not want that. They love centralization, and they want someone to hold accountable for their money, and they want it to be insured, and they don't want to have to deal with it. They don't want to have to learn a wallet. You're going to be able to walk into a bank in the very near future, maybe in the next 2 years, and you go, hey, I want to buy $25,000 of Bitcoin. And they're like, which account you want to pull it from? And you tell them, and you shake their hand, and you go on out the door. And if something happens to that Bitcoin, if it disappears or whatever, it's just like your money at the bank. It's going to be insured. Now, again, I get that people don't want that. Not your, not your wallet, not your phrase, not your keys, not your blockchain, or not your token. Most people don't care. They feel very comfortable letting, say, Bank of America hold their Bitcoin. Unfortunately, that's the reality. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you like this type of information? I know it's a lot, but guys, especially the haters out there, do your own research. Prove me wrong. Go read the white paper of JP Morgan. See what they have that they have already in the works. Go see what Swift is doing, because guys, the only partnership that I know for sure with Swift that amounts to a lot is with Link. Link is going to be the gatekeeper of a lot of things around the world. It's one of the best projects out there. Quant is going to probably do extremely well. HBAR, but the rest of the projects that we know and love, like XRP or XLM and CASPER, they're going to get their share, guys. They're going to have their rails tie into the FEDnow and into the banks. But guys, it's going to be this small. It's going to be a minute amount collectively, right? They're going to get their share. Ripple is going to be a phenomenal company, probably a top 100 Fortune company. It's definitely going to be a Fortune 500 company when it goes public. I have no doubt. But it's virtually impossible for anyone to jump into banking and the flow of money and to remotely think that they'll get more than 1% or 2%. And that right there would be immense for Ripple or any other company. Now, that's all I got, guys. Follow this channel because we are non-biased. Like I said, a lot of people don't want to hear this, but it is what it is. I go down the rabbit hole, and research is not listening to people that tell you what you want to hear. Research is going to Ripple's website, study, watch the videos on ODL. I've spent 10, 15, 20 hours studying Ripple's business model, not XRP, their business model. I understand the escrow and the ODL and all that stuff. And guys, I follow these banks. Anyway, I'm going to keep rambling. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button. And guys, watch the video on Tacit if you want. And I'll put another video up there that will be very informative about the ISO tokens and what's coming down the pipe. Take care, guys. Sorry for the long rant.